NASCAR's veterans are whining again, but this time, Kyle Petty isn't having it. After Carson Hocevar muscled his way to a second-place finish at Atlanta, the old guard started clutching their pearls about his aggressive driving. Petty's response? Shut up and own it. If you don't like the way he's racing, then look in the mirror, Petty fired back, calling out the hypocrisy of the same drivers who built their careers on aggressive tactics. You guys created this. Now, these veterans, many of whom have shoved, bumped, and wrecked their way to wins, suddenly have a problem with a young driver playing their own game? Spare us the fake outrage. Hocevar isn't the problem. He's just following the blueprint that Logano, Chastain, and their predecessors laid out. You made this mess. Now deal with it. Carson Hocevar came to Atlanta Motor Speedway with one goal: win no matter what. His aggressive moves rattled the veterans, and instead of taking it on the chin, they threw a tantrum. Ryan Blaney, who got turned by Hocevar on lap 235, raged over the radio. He's just a moron. He has zero idea of where to bump someone. Kyle Busch, a driver who's never shied away from contact, took it even further. I'm over him. I'm going to wreck his ass. Even Ross Chastain, one of NASCAR's most aggressive racers, confronted Hocevar after the race. The irony was thick. Chastain built his reputation on rubbing fenders and pushing limits. But when Hocevar played the same game, suddenly it was a problem. And Hocevar? He didn't back down. Asked about his style, he fired back. We're here to win races, not be a boy band and love each other. Let's be honest, this isn't about Hocevar being reckless. It's about veterans getting a taste of their own medicine. Logano, Chastain, Busch, they made NASCAR this way. Hard racing, bumping, shoving, pushing the limits. That's the culture they built. And now that a fearless young driver is following in their footsteps, they're crying foul? Give us a break. Hocevar's second-place finish wasn't just a great result, it was a warning. The new generation isn't here to play nice. They're here to race hard, win races, and take over. If the veterans don't like it, maybe they should take their own advice. Figure it out. Kyle Petty isn't just pointing fingers, he's throwing down the gauntlet. In the wake of Carson Hocevar's audacious performance at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Petty unleashed a scathing critique, not at the young driver, but at the seasoned veterans who dared to complain. Petty's message is clear: you guys created this. The aggressive racing culture that now defines NASCAR? That's on you. Petty didn't stop there. He highlighted the hypocrisy of veterans like Joey Logano and Ross Chastain, whose own hard-nosed tactics have set the standard. Now, when a newcomer like Hocevar mirrors their style, they cry foul. Petty calls out this double standard, emphasizing that these young guns are merely products of the environment the veterans fostered. Reflecting on the post-race confrontation between Chastain and Hocevar, Petty noted, Ross approached Hocevar the way he would have liked to have been approached all those years. A civil discussion, devoid of theatrics, acknowledging that the torch of aggressive racing has been passed. Petty's insight underscores the evolution, or perhaps the devolution, of racing etiquette driven by the veterans themselves. Petty's critique doesn't just expose the veterans' duplicity, it challenges them to own the culture they've cultivated. The aggressive, no-holds-barred racing that now permeates the sport is their legacy. And as Petty succinctly puts it, if you don't like the way he's racing, then look in the mirror. It's a call for introspection, urging the old guard to recognize that the new wave of drivers is simply following the blueprint they laid out. In essence, Petty's fiery commentary serves as a wake-up call. The veterans can no longer distance themselves from the very culture they've instilled. Hocevar's driving isn't an anomaly. It's the embodiment of the racing ethos championed by those now voicing their discontent. Petty's words resonate as both a critique and a challenge. Adapt to the monster you've created, or step aside for those unafraid to embrace it. NASCAR's history is steeped in aggressive driving, a legacy crafted by its most celebrated veterans. Dale Earnhardt, famously dubbed the Intimidator, was notorious for his hard-nosed tactics, often unsettling competitors with his fearless maneuvers. His approach wasn't just accepted, it was lionized, setting a precedent for what it meant to be a formidable racer. Following in Earnhardt's tire tracks, Drivers like Ernie Irvan emerged in the 1990s with a similarly audacious style. Irvin's aggressive moves, notably causing a 14-car pileup at Darlington in 1990, earned him both infamy and respect. Such incidents underscored a culture where assertive driving was not only tolerated but expected. Fast forward to the modern era, and the torch of tenacity has been passed to drivers like Joey Logano. Logano's assertive style has sparked debates and on-track confrontations, exemplifying the enduring nature of aggressive racing in NASCAR. These veterans have not only participated in, but have actively shaped a culture that prizes assertiveness and bold moves on the track. However, this legacy has led to a paradox. As young drivers like Carson Hocevar adopt the very tactics pioneered by these veterans, they're met with criticism from the old guard. The veterans, who once reveled in their own aggressive reputations, now find themselves challenged by a new generation unafraid to play by the same rules. This tension highlights a broader issue within NASCAR: the difficulty of reconciling a storied tradition of aggressive driving with the evolving dynamics of the sport. Veterans are confronted with the reality that the competitive environment they've cultivated is now being used against them. It's a classic case of the students mastering the lessons of their teachers, leading to inevitable clashes on and off the track. In essence, the aggressive driving culture in NASCAR isn't a recent development, it's a deeply ingrained aspect of the sport's identity, crafted and perpetuated by its most esteemed drivers. The current friction between veterans and newcomers serves as a testament to the lasting impact of this legacy, forcing a reevaluation of what it means to race with both intensity and respect in today's NASCAR landscape. The uproar from NASCAR's veteran drivers over Carson Hocevar's assertive driving reeks of hypocrisy. These seasoned racers, who built their careers on aggressive tactics, now chastise a newcomer for adopting the very style they popularized. Kyle Busch, notorious for his own combative maneuvers, lambasted Hocevar during the Atlanta race, branding him a freaking douchebag and threatening, "I'm going to wreck his ass." Ryan Blaney, another veteran known for his hard-charging approach, didn't mince words either. After a collision with Hocevar, Blaney fumed, "He just drives through people. It's annoying. You have to learn eventually." The irony is palpable. These drivers, who once prided themselves on their relentless pursuit of victory, now decry the same tenacity in a rising star. It's a classic case of "do as I say, not as I do." Hocevar's unapologetic approach mirrors the very ethos these veterans championed. As Landon Castle aptly put it, "It's so funny to see a bunch of veteran drivers pissed at a young and aggressive rookie going for his first win." A tale as old as time. This backlash isn't about maintaining racing decorum, it's about established figures feeling threatened by the audacity of youth. A youth molded by the precedent they set. The veterans' indignation serves only to highlight their selective memory and unwillingness to face the competitive culture they cultivated. The escalating aggression among NASCAR's new generation of drivers has ignited a fierce debate about the sport's future. Veteran driver Denny Hamlin has voiced concerns, stating, "The newer, younger generation that came in, it just seems like they are more aggressive." This surge in assertive driving has led to increased on-track incidents, prompting discussions about potential rule changes to curb reckless behavior. However, not all seasoned drivers view this shift negatively. Mark Martin, a respected figure in the racing community, has expressed support for the bold approaches of emerging talents like Carson Hocevar. Martin's endorsement suggests a recognition that the sport's evolution may necessitate a more aggressive driving style to remain competitive. NASCAR's response to this trend has been multifaceted. The organization has implemented stricter penalties for actions deemed excessively aggressive, as seen in the sanctions against drivers like Austin Dillon. These measures aim to balance maintaining the sport's competitive spirit with ensuring safety and sportsmanship. As the sport navigates this transitional period, the clash between traditional racing etiquette and the audacious tactics of newcomers continues to shape NASCAR's identity. The resolution of this dynamic will likely define the sport's trajectory in the coming years, determining whether the future of NASCAR will embrace this heightened aggression or seek to reinstate more conservative driving norms. Kyle Petty's critique serves as a stark reminder. NASCAR's veterans are now confronting the aggressive racing culture they themselves established. As emerging talents like Carson Hocevar adopt these assertive tactics, the sport faces a pivotal moment. Is this the evolution of racing or a departure from its roots? The veterans' discomfort highlights a tension between tradition and progression. What are your thoughts on this clash of generations? Do you believe the aggressive style of newcomers is a natural progression, or should there be a return to more traditional racing ethics? Share your perspective in the comments below and join the conversation.